If you got a family event coming up and need to razzle dazzle with a nice cool shot, just for that event, it doesn't matter. You can just use heat transfers, inkjet paper, an inkjet printer, an iron and a t-shirt. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Does it sound too good to be true? Is it? Transfers are so easy to use, and it's so good for someone who doesn't really have all the equipment like vinyl cutter and screen printing and things like that. All you need to do is have a cheap printer that's inkjet, not laser. There are laser versions of it, but inkjet's a little bit more vibrant. And what you have to do is have an iron. You know, if you're one of those fancy people who actually have an iron, then this is for you. All you need to do is print out your image onto the inkjet transfer paper and make sure that you have enough ink. Once you start running out of that ink or it starts getting low, you start to see the image, it's not as vibrant as it could be. So stocking up on ink is 100% necessary. You want to make sure that you've got a nice quality ink, and then that transfers over to your transfer paper. You print out your image, it looks quality, it looks good, take it out, don't touch it, then let it sit and dry. Because once it comes out of that inkjet, the ink is still sitting there and it needs to soak in and dry, because otherwise once we touch it, then it's actually going to smudge that image, it's ruined, and there's 70 cents down. That's not what we like to do. We don't like to waste money. We don't like to waste money. Every cent is a prisoner. That's what it's like in my household. Every cent is a prisoner. Hey, you! Get back in line! Yes. Awesome. Here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to print off my business logo. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take it outside into the shed and we're going to put it on a shirt. I'm going to show you how easy it is. And you're going to think, hey, that's easy. You know? Easy. My design, I'm going to go up to print, get my settings, put it to the printer that I want, go to preferences, and I'm going to choose the rear feed slot. We're going to put it in one sheet at a time. Then quality, you know, I want that nice and high, and I also want to make sure that I've got the image mirrored. That's a setting there, doesn't have to be high speed. Mirror image, because when we put it on there, we're actually going to put it on reverse, and we want to make sure that what we look at is the same as what we want to see. I just want to make sure that when you buy your actual transfer paper, make note of what the actual instructions require of you to do. You know, there's some things like they may give you the temperature that's specific to that brand, the pressure required to push the actual transfer film into the shot, and also whether you're required to reverse. I know in some darker textile transfer papers, they actually don't require you to mirror the image. So going forward, just make sure that you read the instructions that are specific to that transfer paper. Little bit of a disclaimer. Fine, that's okay. Just doesn't matter. That's all organized. Good. Apply. There's a rough side. That's where we want the ink to go. Done my first print, which is here. The yellow is a little bit light, and there's a little bit of black around the outside of the print, which is okay because we're going to get rid of that anyway. The thing is, I'm probably going to put some more ink into my printer because I noticed that it was getting low. And you know, it doesn't have to be low, it just has to be getting low, and then your actual print starts to suffer. You always want to make sure that you keep that ink up as high as possible, especially when you're going to be doing things for other people. So I'm going to put some more ink in there, and then we're going to print out another one and just have a quick look at them just to see a little bit of a difference. Nice little quick ink change, put some more ink in there. I've got ink all over my fingers. They provide you with gloves, but you know, I'm pretty tough, so I don't wear the gloves, I just do it like a badass. And then now I'm going to put my sheet of paper in there, print it out, put them down, we'll have a quick look at them. We might not notice a huge difference, but we might notice a small difference, which makes all the difference. Small differences make a large difference. So I'm going to print it out and compare them. As you can see, this is the one that was when the ink was low. You can just see a little bit of a difference in the yellow. This one's just a little lighter than this one, where you can see that this is darker. That's just after the actual ink change. Plus there's a little bit of an issue. I didn't line up the actual transfer properly in the printer, but that's okay, because what we're going to have to do is we're actually going to have to cut out all this white around here. So that'll be okay. That doesn't really matter, but it's just that it's just a little, the yellow is just a little bit whiter, but this is the one that I'm going to use. As you can see, there's not a huge difference, but hey, there you go. At least we tried something, we tried to make it better, and now that I've let them dry, I've let my prints dry, then I'm going to cut out the transfer paper that I don't actually want to put onto the shot. So that's all the stuff around the outside of the image, and I might cut out a little bit from the center parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out these parts here. So as you can see, you know, there's just little bits of white there, but that should be fine. That'll be completely fine once we actually put it onto the shirt, because you won't really see that white there. It just leaves that rough sort of clear material. All we want to do is just get rid of as much as possible, and make sure that you're using a sharp knife. You don't have to do this part. The only reason I'm doing this is because this is a design that has a lot of white area. If you had a design that was just completely a full image, then you could pop that onto a shirt and you wouldn't have to worry about cutting the insides out. I'm just using this as an example for if you wanted to do something else that was a little bit more intricate. If you just print out a full A4 sheet picture, then what you can do is just cut out the outside, slap it on a shirt, and that is completely fine. The only reason I'm doing this is because it's got the insides. So I can just use to cut away that part there, and then I just go around the outside and get rid of that. There we go. Now we'll go out and put it on the heat press. What we're going to do is we're going to get a heat press, and then we're going to set it up for 320, which is the hottest is 160 degrees on a conventional iron if you're going to be applying it using a conventional iron. And then all we're going to do is apply that heat for around 30 seconds. So that's okay, that's okay. I don't really have to change it, I'm just going to count down to when it gets to 150 for 30 seconds. When you're actually applying it with the iron, what you're going to want to do is to lay it flat, the t-shirt that you're going to put the print on. Then you're going to run your iron across with no steam. You don't want the steam function on, so turn the steam function off, get the iron as hot as possible, usually 160, which is the 320 Fahrenheit that I'm putting on here. And then you're going to want to put the design on, then put some parchment paper on, just grease-proof paper on top of that, and then you're going to apply the heat into that design. You're going to apply it evenly and slowly so that we can get the heat into the image. Then when that's done, what you do is wait for it to cool down and then remove the backing slowly. You want to do it slowly. If it starts to pick up again, what you want to do is apply heat to that area before you rip the backing off. Just make sure you do it nice and slowly and apply the heat if it starts to pick up. Any problem areas, then you can rectify it before you whip it off, and then you might be buggered. So nice and slowly is the technique. Then once it's done, you can put the greaseproof paper on there and again give it a nice light hit just to cement that the plastic transfer material into the actual shirt. So once this gets warm, then I'll go through, get the moisture out of the t-shirt, line up the print, then we'll apply the heat evenly. I'm using this iron because I don't actually have an iron, but I'm using my heat press, and then we'll go through and look at it afterwards. I've just gotten up to temperature, so the first thing I'm going to want to do is move it to the side. Again, watch out, it's very hot. I'm going to get some greaseproof paper and put that down at the bottom. I'm going to put it down at the bottom, just protect, just so it's nice and clean. And then I'm going to get my shirt. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to iron the shirt first. I want it to be nice and smooth, free of wrinkles, and I also want to get rid of all that moisture out of the t-shirt, which we'll see in a second. So just a little bit of pressure. Goodness. You can see that moisture starting to come out already. Just give it a little bit. Start to see all that moisture coming out. There we go, see? So now we've got a t-shirt. I can't help you with the lining up process because everyone does it differently. So put our shirt down. I've got our shoulders here, and then we sort of bring the shirt out, line it up as best as we can, push it onto the heat press, and then just have a bit of an idea of where the centre is. Four fingers down. We're going to want to put a design on there as straight as we possibly can. We want some more parchment paper on top of there. Nice and flat. Bring it across and now down for 30 seconds. There we go, our image is actually on the shirt there. We can sort of see it's fully down. So that's actually slow, it's actually set into the threads at the moment and it's very hot. So what we want to do is we want to let it cool down. Now that I've let the design cool down, I can feel it, it's nice and cool. I can start to lift one of the edges of the print. I can actually start to peel it away. And there we are. Look at that. It's come up great, and you can feel it on there. It's very soft and light. Very soft and light, and it also has reasonable stretch in there, so it's not going to crack or anything when it's done properly. You just give it a nice little tug and make sure, and you can sort of see that it's quite shiny as well. And there you go, a shot that easy. Just print out your image on the transfer paper, make sure it's dry, get rid of all the transfer paper that you don't want to get onto the shot, and then apply 320 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees, which is the hottest setting on a conventional iron, and then make sure that you apply enough heat into the image to then work that transfer paper material into the threads of the shot. That's the basis of this. This is the take home. It's about applying a lot of heat into that material for it to then set into the threads of the shot. And because you let the ink dry into the transfer material, it then takes the ink with it and puts it into the shot. You can tell it's quite smooth and shiny. You can barely feel it. You can feel that there's a difference in, it's not cotton, it's smooth, it's cotton. I'm sorry about the football studs. It's freezing here in Tassie, but I just want to show off my new t-shirt. Hey everybody, check out my t-shirts. Oh man, that's vibrant, cool and catchy. I like it. Where can I get one? I made it myself. But I can make you one, friend, because we are friends. Friends. Maybe I should get me some of them.